Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Inner Peace, Better Health. I'm your host, Anya, and today we have an incredibly inspiring guest with us, Dr. Christine Boev. She is a PhD-prepared ICU nurse with extensive training in health, wellness, fitness, and anti-aging. She is a powerhouse of knowledge on metabolic health, supplementation, and alternative therapies to enhance cellular health. Dr. Boev's goal is to maintain her current aerobic condition, including handstand push ups, when she is 120 years old. How amazing is that? She's devoted her career to helping women navigate the psychological changes of perimenopause and menopause with no nonsense, evidence based approach. Welcome, Dr. Boev.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
So, let's dive right in. Our topic today is empowering women through self care. Dr. Boev, can you start by sharing what self care means to you and why is it so crucial for women?
Yeah, this is a really good question. I think as women, we are conditioned to take care of everybody else first. And especially if you're a mother, a grandmother, a friend, a sister, you've got all of these people who are depending on you. But if you are not taking amazing care of yourself, then you're not able to show up for others. And the best way to show up for others is through role modeling. So my idea of self-care is how we nourish our body, how we move our body, and how we recharge our body. So nourish through nutrition, movement through fitness, and then just our mind recharging through meditation, through recovery, and making sure that we're getting enough sleep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what do you think are the biggest barriers women face when it comes to prioritizing self care?
Guilt. The biggest thing is they feel guilty if they are taking time for themselves, which could potentially take away from other people. And it's really important for women to remember that their self-care is going to be translated to the people that depend on them. And especially if you're a parent, when you take care of yourself, you are role modeling for your children. So they see you getting up early. They see you going to the gym. They see you nourishing your body with healthy foods. And so it's more of don't do what I tell you to do, but live by example through role modeling and doing the things versus just talking about them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's like such a great way because kids look up to their parents so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We have two teenagers who we've never said you should do anything, but they are both very dedicated to fitness, to health, just to being their best selves. I got my daughter is 18, and so three of her friends and I are on a text group, and we share our meals every day because what I'm trying to instill in them is like how to be healthy means getting enough protein. So we literally send pictures of our breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day to encourage each other to, show like, hey, you're doing a great job. You're getting your protein today because, young girls tend to not necessarily always eat the best. And so it also helps them understand what good nutrition looks like young in life.
Mm-hmm. That's so wholesome. I love it.
Yeah. And it's, you know what? It doesn't shame them. It's not like, oh, you should or you shouldn't be. Yet it's encouraging them like, hey, that's amazing. I love that you're having fish or you're trying something new or you're air frying your chicken wings versus, buying them from the store. So there's just so many great alternatives that they're learning about so that when they go to college, they have that knowledge to help them stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, how can women overcome these barriers and like start making self care a non negotiable part of their routine?
I think it's very overwhelming to think about if you're in like pretty bad shape, meaning you're overweight, you've got high blood pressure, chronic disease, diabetes. It's like, where do I start? And I always encourage people just start small. If you have never worked out before, I would say walk 20 minutes a day and go outside. I live in a place that is very cold. But I walk outside every day. It's a non-negotiable. I put on all my layers and I get outside. The fresh air, the vitamin D, it makes you feel better. But again, it's too overwhelming to be like, okay, you've got to lift weights, you've got to do this, eat this protein. So when I'm working with somebody who's brand new, very little experience, we start small because I believe in the compounding power of momentum. So that if you're brand new and I'm telling you, like, I want you to walk outside 20 minutes every day, and then you do that, you're keeping the promises that you've made to yourself. You're upholding your own dignity and self-respect. And then we can start to layer on some of the more sophisticated aspects of health and wellness. But you've got to start somewhere, and walking is the best way to start. And then the second thing I stress is hydration. If you're not somebody who drinks a lot of water, then that's an easy thing to incorporate into your life.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So, speaking of support, how important is it for women to have a community or support system in their self care journey?
Yeah, I think it's really important because it gets old. And if you have some encouragement or you have somebody to kind of help nudge you along the way, then it gives you that community. So I coach menopausal and perimenopausal women, and we have a platform, kind of like a Facebook group, but it's not Facebook. And you can see how everybody's doing, and you can encourage each other and celebrate each other. We have contests. I have an early bird of the day. So every morning, whoever gets their workout done first gets a shout out, like, congrats to our early bird of the day. I just did a contest. Whoever for the month of January hit their nutrition goal the most, they won a $100 gift card to a supplement store. So you've got to encourage each other. You've got to have community. And also you need to realize, like, you're not alone in this. There are thousands and thousands of women going through the same exact struggle, and that there is a solution, because I feel like so many people feel hopeless. They feel discouraged. They just don't know what to do. So having community is everything.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. And I love the early bird shout out thing. I'm pretty sure like it would motivate me a lot. Oh, let's wake up early and get my workout done.
Yeah, I mean, the research shows that if you get your workout done in the morning, then the rest of your day, you're feeling better. You feel like you've accomplished something. And then the likelihood that you're going to do it the next day and the next day increases. So it really gives you that confidence and that momentum that, you know what, I'm not going to eat bad today because I worked out. I'm not going to ruin that. And so I feel like working out early is a really important part of the process. You don't have to. I have people who work out in the evenings, and that's their preference, and that's fine. But I feel like an early workout definitely gives you an advantage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about the role of nutrition in self care. What are some key nutritional strategies that can help women feel their best?
Yeah, so it's nutrition is very complicated because we've heard so many conflicting things about what is right for you, what is right for me. And the truth is, everybody's a little bit different, but females in particular have our own specific nutritional needs. And that's where I use my expertise to put together nutritional programs that are best aligned for your goals. And the first thing I start with is protein. It's very important that you get enough protein as a female. And what is enough, it really depends from person to person. But I will tell you, I have clients who are vegan, I have clients who are vegetarian, and you can still get adequate protein intake without eating meat. You just have to know where your protein comes from, and you need to plan. So making sure that you're getting enough protein. And then I have everybody track what they eat. So I track what I eat every day. So I use my Fitness Pal. Everything I eat goes into MyFitnessPal, and that allows me to do an assessment of how am I feeling? How is my energy level? How is my sleep? And then that way I know I'm hitting my own goals in terms of protein.
That's amazing, and I can understand how helpful tracking your meals can be in so many aspects. And what about exercise? How can women
And it can
find?
get annoying to, sorry,
No, please continue.
sorry, go ahead. I was going to say sometimes people get like tired of tracking all the time.
Mhm.
You get fatigue, like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's not that hard. And honestly, I always tell people if you're not tracking, how on earth do you know what changes you need to make? And how can we make tweaks? So, tracking is a non negotiable. You have to do it.
Mhm.
Again, I think that's really important that you're measuring it.
Yeah. So, what about exercise? How can women find a fitness routine that works for them, like especially if they're just starting out?
Yeah. So, in addition to just walking, low impact cardio, if you're just starting out and you're brand new, I would go to like a garage sale or Amazon or Facebook Marketplace and get a couple pair of dumbbells, maybe a 5 pound, 10 pound, and I can build an incredible fitness routine just using very little equipment. It's it's not true that you need all of this fancy equipment. It's not true that you have to belong to a gym. But what you do need is just a few basic pieces of equipment. And with that, you can build an incredible fitness program that is going to target all of your major muscle groups. So, one of the mistakes women make is they only do cardio and they don't do training. And really, where the magic happens is lifting weights and starting out, kind of slow, like maybe 3 days a week. And then we work up to 4 days a week. But getting the stress on those muscles to try to add some volume. And then as you build muscle, you decrease body fat. And I think most people that I work with, that's their goal. I want to decrease body fat and I want to build skeletal lean muscle. Muscle is your longevity organ. So the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn at rest. And so if you want to live a long, healthy life, you have to be doing strength training. You've got to be lifting weights and you've got to do it in a way that is systematic and strategic.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, let's touch on mental health. How can mindfulness practices like meditation, yoga contribute to a woman's self care routine?
So mental health is really important because if you have poor mental health, then you're not going to have any interest in your physical health. So it's all very much connected. And the way that I tap into improving my mental health is a couple things. Number one, I have a daily meditation practice that I do every morning. It's non-negotiable, and it's how I start my day. And it really is everything. It gives me some time to have some quiet, to really like get signals from the universe about what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And it just allows me just some time for to clear my head. We live in such a noisy environment. There's so much going on all the time. When you decrease that stimulus, it allows you to tap into your intuition and really get a better sense of what's going on in around you. The other thing is I love to be outside. So being outside is amazing for your mental health and getting some sunlight, getting some vitamin D, and really tapping into nature as much as you possibly can. That is going to make you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, finally, what role does sleep play in self care, and how can women improve their sleep quality?
Yeah, that's such a good question. Sleep is very difficult, especially as you get older and your hormones change. Sleep can be very elusive. So, a couple of things that I highly recommend if you're having trouble sleeping. Number one, you need to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. There is a lot of confusion around like weekends, and some people will like catch up on sleep in the weekends, but that actually makes things worse. So you want to have a consistent bedtime and wake up time. You want to avoid caffeine after noon because that will stay in your system for hours and you don't even realize it. And then finally, you got to pay attention to all of the bright lights in your environment. So, LEDs, toxic blue lights on screens and computer screens. If you limit those things, that's going to tell your brain, like, hey, it's time to start winding down. It's time to start making melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. The other amazing thing to do is when you wake up in the morning, go outside and get some exposure to sunlight, even on a cloudy day. That helps set your circadian rhythms so that your sleep wake cycle internally is optimized. So those are just some basic things if you're having trouble sleeping. And then finally, avoid alcohol at all costs. It kills your sleep, and there's no upside to alcohol. So I would just stay away from that 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice. So, to all our listeners, I hope you found today's episode as enlightening and empowering as I did. Remember, self care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Take your time to nurture yourself, set boundaries, and seek support. You deserve to feel your best every single day. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's spread the message of self care and empowerment far and wide. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep shining.